Hi guys, welcome back to another installment of Professor Charles S Live. Oh yeah. And today we're gonna talk about the newest episode of my favorite new Hirone series, Stargirl. Yes, we're gonna talk about Wildcat. The episode is titled Wildcat. So in this episode, I'm loving that they can do flashbacks and it's not like overbearing. So let's talk about this flashback. So at the very beginning of this episode, we learn a little bit more about Courtney's other soon-to-be friend, Yolanda, also known as Wildcat. So in this episode, we see Yolanda back in the days where she was the popular girl in high school at Blue Valley High. We also see that there's a connection between her and Henry, which is Brainwave's son. We see that they were an item at some point. Also, some of the things that she dealt with being the popular girl, but also the reasons why her and Henry broke up. Because we knew there was some type of like animosity, like, you know, in this episode between why her and Henry are not on the best of terms. And we find out why. Henry tests her and everything. And I think this episode deals a little bit with peer pressure. And she sent a picture to Henry, and the picture was kind of a little revealing, okay? Yeah. So, and Henry was like, please, could you send it? And, you know, here comes the next day, her coming to school, and also, in this episode, we see that she had a really nice bond with her family before all this kind of took place. We seen her mother was loving, her other family was very supportive of her and everything. And also her mother being a teacher at Blue Valley High at that time, okay? So we see she came from a loving family, but something changed over time, you know? So that's the thing about it. I was like, wow, you know? So in this episode, we also see what led to her and Henry breaking up. The picture that Henry begged her for, pretty much was the reason why they broke up, because the picture got around due to one of the girls that was very envious of her and wanted Henry. You know what I'm saying? She just looked for anything to kind of sabotage her, and also her being embarrassed in front of the whole school. That can take a toll on someone. And you can see that led to her being a little bit not trusting. You know what I'm saying? When people do certain things, you kind of like, you know, kind of veer off. It's not that you don't care about people, you don't trust people, but you see that her and Courtney have their differences, because Courtney's like, look, I want to be your friend. And you know, like Yolanda's like, no, I don't want to be your friend. You know, why you keep following me and stuff like that. But she doesn't understand that Courtney doesn't have any friends. The person that was closest to her being her first friend at that high school, because remember, Courtney's not from that city. Her mother grew up in that city, and Pat did. But the thing is, with her not literally pretty much not having any friends, she had to find someone to be friends with. And sometimes that could be a little bit hard, you know what I'm saying, going to a different school and you trying to make new friends. And you know, and like I said, on Courtney's behalf and her situation being Stargirl, she lost a person that was close to be a friend, which was Wizard's son. And you can see the frustration, like, you know, I need to make new friends. I don't have any friends here. But also in this episode, what I love about it is the bond that Courtney has with Yolanda. We see, you know, Courtney not giving up on her, you know what I'm saying? While everybody else is kind of like not really being bothered with her or anything, we see Courtney kind of say, look, I want to be your friend. Come over to my house, you know what I'm saying, for dinner. And you know, Yolanda's, you know, she finds out Yolanda's punching the punching bag, and we see that paid homage to the original Wildcat. As a lot of you guys don't know, the original Wildcat that I saw in Justice League, not to be off topic a bit, was a brawler. And I'm sure Yolanda's going to be the brawler of the bunch and stuff like that. And so that was a very interesting take on it. But I like this, like that aspect of it, because I'm like, all right, well, at least they paid homage to it. And I love in this episode that we see Yolanda wear the original Wildcat suit. It was hilarious. I was like, And she's like, ugh, it stains. This mask. You know what I'm saying? Because it had a masculine odor to it. Because remember, Wildcat was a man. That was a very interesting aspect of it. But I love that the costume changed to fit her as Wildcat. I thought that was really neat. But it took Yolanda time to trust Courtney. Yes, you know, Courtney didn't stop trying to be her friend. She's like, look, I tell you, you know, I blew up Henry's car, da da da. And, you know, and that was, I think that was what took it off to a whole nother level. She's like, you blew up Henry's car? She's like, yeah. She's like, come over to my house. You know, she was told her again, come over to my house. And, you know, Yolanda eventually did. She told her parents, like, you know, her family, that I'm going over to Courtney's house. You know, it was the first time she didn't come by. But one thing I loved about this episode, we see Courtney and the staff kind of like have their own little thing going on. Like the staff like, look, I want to do my own thing. Courtney like, no, don't do that. So the staff kind of has a mind of its own. I think that's why I say it's kind of similar to Doctor Strange Cape a little bit. It does its own thing. It's like, look, I'm going to do my own thing. Screw what you talking about. That's what's very interesting about it. But I love that the bond that her and Yolanda and Courtney had pretty much, you know, showing her the ropes of being a hero. They literally Googled, you know what I'm saying, the abilities that Wildcat had, because Courtney's like, I don't know all his abilities. I said, boy, Google does wonders. But I think that was neat, you know what I'm saying, because she got a chance to see her, you know, learn how to operate the suit and everything. And I love this episode because there was a part of this episode that had me like, oh my God, no, don't let this happen. Where Yolanda as Wildcat climbs up the building and we see her going to visit Henry's father, Brainwave. And there was an instance when I seen it, I was like, oh my God, no, I can't look. I had that moment. I didn't do that, but in the back of my mind, I'm like, please don't get caught. Please don't get caught. Pretty much Henry visits, she visits Henry's father. And there was a moment in this episode, I thought she was going to kill Henry. Because remember, Henry made, her mother probably lost her job due to this whole picture getting circulated around the whole high school. Her family was against her. And we see Yolanda, also known as Wildcat, not get revenge on Henry. Despite him being her ex-boyfriend, she did not go for revenge. But we did learn something, that Brainwave has other people out there, other Injustice members. The lady with the violin. I don't know who that is, unless that's the new Shade. That could be the new Shade. That's a possibility. That could be the new Shade. There's another person that might be the new Shade. I'm not for sure, but if it's her, the principal, oh my God, that would be incredible. But also in this episode, we see Icicle reunite with one of the most loyal members of the Injustice Society, pretty much with Dragon. Dragon is this other member of the Injustice Society, and it's interesting because he's curious. He wants the Wizard's body. He's like, hey man, you got so-and-so's body, and I was like, wow. But also, what I liked about this episode is Pat. I like his cover up as a sidekick. He's a mechanic. You know what I'm saying? So he's going to be able to find out about stuff more so than Courtney being a high school student. No offense. But I think it works because Pat came across Wizard's wife. And in this episode, we see she's like, don't believe everything you see in this city. There's more to it than what you know. And I think possibly, I'm waiting to see the next episode. I'm like, this anticipation is eating at me. That Icicle may have killed Wizard's wife. And it makes sense because she knew about what was really going on. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like she didn't know. She was warning Pat about it. You know, she confided in Pat a bit because she lost her son and her husband, but you could tell she was paranoid. You know what I'm saying? And that's something that we saw. And I think also Icicle stole Wizard's magic wand and the costume itself. So that brings to me, it makes it seem like there's going to be something else going on. But also in this episode, I forgot to talk about, we see Courtney have with the Green Lantern, and we also see the pen. The pen, that Courtney picked up. I think it's some type of pen with some type of magical creature. That's what it seems like to me. I mean, I'm surprised Pat hasn't found out. I know Pat will probably be pissed off when he finds out that she took all those items. You know, I'm like, Courtney, what are you doing? I know you're recruiting. I get it. You trying to bring back the, you know, the Justice Society of America. I get it. But, you know, that's what it was. But also, like I said in this episode, we see that Yolanda stood up to her family. She's like, okay, I did this wrong thing, this one thing, and you guys, I love you guys, but you guys act like you don't appreciate me. And sometimes you can have rifts with family due to something, a mistake that you made. And we can see Yolanda being frustrated and telling Courtney, I no longer want to be Wildcat. I'm like, no! I was like, man, please don't do that. But then we see, you know, Courtney not giving up. We said, look, you're Wildcat. You know, she's like, she sent the suit costume back to her and everything. And I was like, wow. I was like, this is deep. But I love at the end of this episode, we see Pat kind of worried about Wizard's wife. And he does up some digging. He goes to this like junkyard to figure out what happened to the vehicle and stuff, to find out that the vehicle looked like it had been in some type of accident. Maybe Icicle may have killed possibly, you know, Wizard's wife, or maybe she's the new Wizard. I don't know. That the anticipation's inside, you know, and it's kind of curious to see what really happened to her. So hopefully in the next episode, we do see that aspect of it. But I like that Courtney and Yolanda are friends. But also, Yolanda made one fatal mistake. One of the other girls that sits at the table with them that will eventually be another person that's going to probably be the next character for the next episode, she knows her secret identity. But guys, have you seen the most recent episode of DC show, DCCW show, Stargirl? You tell me in the comments, what did you think about it? Did you enjoy it? Did you not enjoy it? I think each episode it gets better. We get a chance to learn not just about the villains, but the other main, soon-to-be main characters that will be helping Courtney, and also we learn a little bit more about the villains. But until next time, guys, your boy Professor Charles is live. Have a great day, guys. This is one of my videos for today. Have another one coming later. Until next time, guys, moment time.